What's up, students? Last week you learned about the world of bioluminescence, and in the video today you are going to see your peers talk about what it is, why organisms produce light, how they're able to produce light, and you're going to get to see some awesome projects done by students in this class. I hope you enjoy.
What's this?
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
an angular fish. I produce light to attract prey. Bioluminescence is whenever a living thing is the ability to produce light by a chemical reaction.
Last week I learned about why some organisms, like the anglerfish, produce light. Reason 1, to lure prey. Reason 2, to communicate with each other. Reason 3, to attract a mate. And reason 4, they use it as a defense mechanism. However, there is a lot that is still unknown about why some creatures produce light. Maybe you could be the scientist that discovers a new reason.
Anglerfish, you see my light here? To attract prey. Ah, that's how I eat deep in the ocean.
How is bioluminescence formed?
Just like in the flask, bioluminescence is a result of a chemical reaction. Bioluminescence is formed when luciferin and oxygen combine to make light.
Yes, I have. Wait a minute. I see she's taking a barnacle. She's covered in bioluminescent algae as a diversion.
My name is Brody. I'm going to talk about where and what colors bioluminescence can occur as. A whopping 75% of bioluminescence is found in the ocean, only 25% is found on land. Bioluminescence is mostly blue and green because the short wavelengths of blue and green light travel longer distances in the sea.
Fireflies are a species of bioluminescent animals that live on land. There are more than 2,000 species of fireflies. They use their brain signals to control how much oxygen goes into their abdomen, and that kind of turns on their light or turns off their light. The abdomen is transparent, which allows the light to glow.
So as you see in this picture, which is taken from your Science World magazine, there are different flash patterns that different species of fireflies exhibit. And researchers think that the insects initially developed the ability to produce light to warn off predators to stay away, but only later began using the flashes in order to communicate. You'll see in this picture here that there are different signaling patterns in different types of North American fireflies. So I thought that was unique and pretty cool. So check that out.
So the organism that we're talking about is firefly squid, and they are found in Japan.
Javari, what color do they produce?
Blue light.
Cool.
Scientists have hypothesized that they do it for communication.
Cool. Now, one thing I wanted to share with you this week, for the last day of our week on bioluminescence, is to actually observe a real living specimen, and that is Pyrocystis fusiformis. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about this really unique organism. First off, it is made of one cell. You and I, made of many, trillions in fact. This organism that you got to observe, which you'll see right here in this picture next to me, that organism is a single cell, and yet it has the ability to produce light. Now, it is a plankton, okay, so it's floating at the surface. A common misconception is that a lot of organisms only use bioluminescence in the deep ocean. That is not true. These plankton actually use sunlight to get their energy, so they are photosynthesizing organisms, and in order to do that, they gotta be at the top, they gotta be at the surface in order to get that sunlight, right? Here we are, this is Mr. Standard coming to you live, approximately 12 nautical miles off of Panacea, Florida. You look out here, we got a pretty flat day. Beautiful day, a little warm. Another technique that we are going to try and work on today, and that is we're trying to catch plankton. And so you can see here we got the plankton net. We got a good knot tied on the plankton net, and you can see the fine mesh in the collection jar here. Very, very fine, so it will allow those plankton to kind of collect in this jar. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna twist it up. Make sure that's tight. And I'm gonna kind of let it go. And we're gonna drag this and do a little plankton trawl. So again, we're out here about 12 nautical miles off Panacea, getting ready to deploy the plankton net. We're in about 40 feet of water, and we're gonna take some collect some samples to see what we can get. You think there's plankton out here? I believe there is. Can we get a shot of the plankton net in tow? Okay. And what's our time? Okay, this is June 20th, 19th. June 19th at 1:50 p.m. Eastern time. 40 foot of water. Like I said, about 11 miles off of Panacea. We'll see what we get. Now, they are found in just about every single ocean, okay? So you'll see them in the Gulf of Mexico, you'll see them in the Atlantic, the Pacific, the Indian, they're all over the world. In fact, they're one of the most abundant organisms on this planet. And why? Why do you think that plankton are the most abundant organisms? Meaning there's probably more plankton than any other living thing. The answer lies in the food web, okay? Or in the food chain. Plankton are the foundation of the marine ecosystem's food chain. Everything in the ocean relies on plankton to get energy, right? Now let's go back to these specific ones. You see here, I did a little drawing of Pyrocystis fusiformis right there. I'll use my light to shine it. Boom, there it is, okay? And so this is what they look like. You should have been able to observe those under the microscope. Also, bummer, they only lived about 5 to 7 days, okay? 5 to 7 days is their lifespan, not long. Now you might be wondering, okay, they're single-celled. They're made of one cell. How in the world do they reproduce? The answer is simple, asexually. Now this year we will learn about how organisms reproduce differently. Most organisms on this planet actually can reproduce by themselves, what is called asexual reproduction. And they use a process known as binary fission, which means simply they split apart. And you'll see in some of the photos that I've attached to this video, you'll see some of those cells actually appearing like they're getting ready to divide and split into two. This is how they're able to reproduce. And they do so very efficiently. You might be wondering, well, what color do they light up? The answer is blue.
I'm observing bioluminescent dinoflagellates.